Hello everyone and welcome. This presentation introduces resident-led scrutiny as a way for residents to take an active role in improving Eastlight services, because here at Eastlight we believe that residents should be at the heart of everything we do. And Eastlight has always been committed to resident engagement, involving residents in different ways, including a formal customer influence committee, active resident network, Eastlight residents groups, just to name a few. But in 2025, we launched the Resident Members Charter, which is the organization's long-term promise to put resident views at the heart of decision-making. It was co-created with residents following a series of workshops and calls and came to life alongside the Eastlight Community Gateway Circle. This circle is bringing together all resident engagement activities into one place, and one of the activities within this circle is scrutiny and service improvement activity. While residents have already been involved in scrutinizing Eastlight, with the Customer Influence Committee having an overall responsibility for it, the introduced charter now provides more opportunities for a wider group of residents to get involved and contribute to service improvements. We believe that this new scrutiny program will bring fresh perspectives and greater independence in shaping improvements to services and resident experience at Eastlight, and we call it resident-led scrutiny. But what is scrutiny? In simple terms, scrutiny means looking into something in a lot of detail. So, resident-led scrutiny is a process where Eastlight residents take a close look at Eastlight services and make recommendations for improvements. The reason we do it is that, most importantly, scrutiny gives residents a real voice in shaping services and holding Eastlight to account. We understand that residents themselves are the people living the services, so they are the first to see when things go right or wrong. So by involving you, residents, in our scrutiny reviews, they can lead to better services, improved value for money, and greater transparency. And last but not least, it's also a regulatory requirement and helps us, Eastlight, deliver our resident engagement and community empowerment strategy. So Eastlight is at the beginning of its resident-led scrutiny journey, but we've already seen some powerful examples from other housing providers within the sector, which led to saved money, improved services, and new policies. For example, a scrutiny group in one housing association helped save £3,000 by recommending changes to caretaking services. A scrutiny review in another housing association led to Wi-Fi installation in all supported housing schemes. And yet another resident-led review created a mobility scooter policy, which has increased safety in communal areas. So in a typical scrutiny review, residents usually explore why a service is delivered the way it is, hear from staff, for example through their presentations, examine performance data, satisfaction levels, complaints, and accessibility, identify strengths and weaknesses of the service, and make recommendations for improvement. So it's a structured, evidence-based process that leads to action. Let's see how a scrutiny review can look like on an example from one of Eastlight's first reviews.
So scrutiny or resident scrutiny is basically where residents are invited to look at a particular service area and really get underneath it to understand what's working well and what isn't. And the aim is basically to improve services for residents. So it's really important because obviously residents know those services better than anybody. So yeah, really excited to start off our scrutiny journey with service charges, and some really good ideas coming out already, which is going to drive improvement for residents.
What we've been scrutinising today is service charges. This is the second meeting that we've had. Lots of good ideas have flown around. There's lots of different ideas about when a service charge comes out, how it should come out, how it's responding to residents' needs as well as staff needs. Talking about accountabilities, I personally feel that we've been listened to, that everything is going ahead in a good way, and I'm looking forward to when other staff have talked about it and the CIC, etc., have talked about it, of where we can actually land what needs to be landed.
Well, I think we lucked up with this collection of people on the scrutiny panel because everybody brought something slightly different, different perspective, different points in life, and different experiences with Eastlight. And there was a lot of goodwill and support for each other and creativity. And I think that made for a better outcome. You know, we've ended up with some really interesting ideas that can be explored and make things better for Eastlight's residents.
I know there's lots of us, and sometimes we feel that we're not heard. But if we get involved and try our best to interact with Eastlight, we will learn more about Eastlight, and it will be better communication between tenants and Eastlight. Even attending from one workshop, which you think will benefit you, it will open your eyes and it will show you what Eastlight is doing and how it affects you. So it's really beneficial to learn more.
This Eastlight scrutiny review spans across several weeks with a few meetings between staff and residents, which is very common for task and finish scrutiny. On this slide, you can see two common ways to deliver scrutiny reviews and differences between them: bootcamp and task and finish. Bootcamp scrutiny, also known as a scrutiny inquiry day, is a short, intensive format. It's typically delivered over 1 or 2 full days and is often led by a team, sometimes with an independent facilitator. Preparation for a bootcamp may include surveys or focus groups to gather resident views in advance. The sessions themselves are open to any residents who want to attend, making them inclusive and accessible. During the bootcamp, staff deliver presentations, followed by group discussions where residents explore the issues in depth. The goal is to agree on recommendations on the day, making this a fast-paced and focused way to review a service. In contrast, task and finish scrutiny is a more structured, project-based approach. It has a clear start and end, usually running over 6 to 8 weeks. Participation is flexible, residents may join for a single project, and the group may change from one review to the next. The work is focused and purposeful, with residents gathering evidence, meeting regularly, hearing presentations from staff, and completing tasks between sessions. At the end of the process, the group produces a formal report with recommendations, which is then presented to decision makers. And once the work is complete, the group disbands, but progress on the agreed actions will be tracked. This approach requires structured and committed support from the organization to ensure residents are well supported throughout. Thank you very much all for your attention today, and I look forward to seeing you at the next scrutiny review at Eastlight.